What's up guys, and welcome to a new mini-series. This is going to be about 5 or 6 episodes long. And if you ever feel like you suffer from plateaus, you're not growing, you're not progressing, your physique isn't changing, this is going to be the series for you. This is my high intensity, high frequency training, which is going to allow you to hit those muscles harder, more frequently, grow faster, and maintain functionality. Day 1, here you go. Welcome to day 1 of my 5-day training regime. So, despite what you just saw, bag work, this is not a boxing video. This is part of the start of every one of my workouts. This is my cardio, but this is muscle building functional cardio, and that's what this little mini series of day 1 to day 5 is going to be all about. It's about how I'm integrating bodybuilding with functional training and fitness. So today we're going to go through a full workout, day 1 workout. This is high frequency training. What that means is I train everything twice a week. I do 3 body parts per session, and I train everything again within 72 hours. 2 exercises on each body part, 5 sets, and that's generally what it works out like throughout the whole routine unless you're told otherwise. Today we're going to be covering biceps, triceps, and back. We've started with boxing first though, so let's cover that. So the bag work, this is my functional muscle building cardio that I enjoy doing, and that's what's important. Keep your cardio in. Your cardio is what keeps you fit, it keeps your heart and lungs healthy, and the better of a machine you are, the more you're going to respond to your training and your diet. But you can replace this if you need to with like a Stairmaster, a lip stool, whatever it is that you enjoy, but make sure it's something that you do enjoy. But if you want to do the bag work or your cardio on something else, it's around about 30 minutes that I'm doing on the bag. I tend to do 6 rounds, 3 minutes per round with 30 seconds rest. And I want to be moving the entire time. I build the rounds up as I go, starting with round 1. So round 1, we're looking to just keep moving and do light shots in combinations. We're looking to keep moving around the bag. There's no power in this. It's about warming up the shoulders, the joints, the back, getting your distance, getting your timing, and getting those feet moving. So this is all about movement, light shots, and breathing. Round 2. So round 2 is going to introduce some power shots. So what we're looking here is to end our combinations on a power shot. So like in round 1, we're going to do a couple of tap shots, smooth, fast, and then we're going to land with that big power shot on the end of every 3rd or 4th punch. This is going to start getting you to be able to plant your feet, set those punches, and get your range, and we're starting to burn a little bit more energy on this round. Round 3. This round is all about bringing in more of that functionality of the body, and that means kicks, knees, and elbows. During this round, we're looking to work again with those couple of tap-up punches, get the distance, land that big power shot, but finish each combination with a light kick, light knee, or light elbow. Rounds 4 to 6. This is our work round, this is our fight rounds. So we're utilizing everything in this, from kicks, knees, elbows, and punches. We're landing power shots and combinations. During this, we want to be moving around as if we're in a fight. So we're going to get in, explode, do our damage, and then get out of range. This is about explosion and rest. We're looking to make that 3 minutes work for us, not gas out, and maintain cardio function. So land hard, land fast, move out, recover, and explode back in. So you're warm, your cardio's done, and you're feeling good. We're now down into the weight section. So this is how it's going to structure. We train everything twice per week, but you're going to be doing 3 body parts per session. 2 exercises per body part, so 6 exercises in total. Each body part is going to have 1 compound movement and 1 isolation. Then the second time you train it during the week, you're going to change that compound and change that isolation to a different exercise. So now you can see over the week, each body part is going to have 4 exercises done on it, but we're doing 5 sets per exercise. So that's 20 sets over the entire week. Normally people will do kind of 4 sets of 4 exercises, so they're actually only hitting it once a week and only 16 sets. So this way, not only are you hitting it more frequently to stimulate that muscle growth, but over the actual 7-day period, we're getting more volume in on that body part, yet we're not burning as much energy or killing the muscles because on each day we're doing less volume. Does that make sense? So here it's going to be fast-paced and high intensity because we have no excuses. Because we're doing less volume on each part on the singular day, we have no reason to lollygag around. We can get moving, plus we're going from one body part to another, supersetting, so we're allowing that other body part to rest while the other's working. So this should be your mentality throughout each of these sessions, is when one's working, the other's resting, so you're ready to go and ready to fire back on as soon as you're done with that other exercise. That's what you need. Positive, strong mental attitude. That is going to carry you further than any egotistical heavy lifting. Day 1 of this routine, we're starting with back, triceps and hamstrings, so we're hitting upper and lower. Now the way I like to do this is I like to superset, so that means literally doing one set of one exercise, put that weight down straight into another set of the secondary exercise. So that way we're moving from body part to body part, and we're going to be able to do that in a shorter time span. If you want to do a single body part and then move on to the next body part as a whole, that's completely up to you, but your routine will take longer, but it doesn't matter, it's totally up to your choice. No, but the choice is up to you. First exercise on back we're going to be hitting is that compound style. It's going to be, yes!
It's going to keep it rolling.
First exercise we're going to be hitting is that compound movement, and that's going to be bent over rows using a pivot bar. If you don't have one of these in your gym, there should be some kind of variation. If you need to do a seated row, it doesn't matter. If you can't do this specific exercise, not the end of the world, just find a similar movement. From here, we're going to move straight on. Tricep V-bar extension. So here we're looking to get a decent amount of weight on it. We're going to pull our elbows in, keep the body nice and tight. On everything we do, we're looking for that neutral spine, setting the body and setting that posture. So if you start right, you'll finish right. So let's cover each movement in a little bit of detail and then we'll move on. So we're going to be using this, which you'll often find on the lat pull down. It's just a close grip handle. Hook this onto the bar. This is the big bit here. When we lift off, we're going to squat it up, straight, roll the scapula back and set yourself. Now we're going to lower ourselves down, keeping a neutral spine. What we're not doing is allowing that back to arch. From here, I'm going to look to pull through with the elbows, squeeze, and all the way down. What I'm not doing is lifting with the legs and then pulling all the way through. So keep it strict, really squeeze at the top, tight elbows, scapula engaged, release, let the arms fully extend, then drive back through. Avoid bouncing it up. On the tricep extensions here, what we're looking for is your body position. A lot of people kind of stand too far back and lean over. Do not start at the top and rep through. Start wrong, you'll finish wrong. So we pull our elbows in, we stick our hips back just a touch to cause clearance, and then we extend down to a full angle. What I'm not doing is pulling it into my waist. So I'm not pulling in and through, I'm pressing down, palms to the floor, squeeze, shoulders back, chest up, spine neutral, not butting or arching my back. And that's the compound for the triceps and back, done. Sorry, yep, nearly forgot. Reps. We're looking for 8 to 12 reps on everything. Tight squeeze, lots of focus, lots of intensity. But you can start your first sets on that 16 reps if you want to get nice and warm. But 8 to 12 is where we're looking to work.
Turn the lights on, I'ma go live. Feeling like a legend in my own time. My legacy, inevitable destiny. I bet I'm gon' shine when it's go time. There's no blocking the prophecy, that's promise. I saw it all, how they fall and I stood longest. I don't need you to praise me or acknowledge. Can't stop, won't stop, gotta go hard.
So that's one back and one tricep done. Now we're going to move on to back and introduce that new body part, hamstrings. That means that the next one is then going to be hamstrings and triceps to finish off that routine and get those 2 exercises per body part. So you can see how quickly this moves and why you've no excuse to not fire with all intensity on every set and every rep. So this is the second exercise for back. Again, we're looking at 5 sets in that 8 to 12 rep range. We're going to be doing a more isolated lat pull down style using the cables and a single arm on each cable. So this is unilateral work. This is great if you have imbalances. What we're going to look to do, drop to our knees, make sure that we've got a full extension and the weights aren't touching when we're down at the base. From here, what I'm going to look to do is keep that scapula engaged, rib cage down and my glutes slightly engaged. That's going to give me a nice neutral alignment through my spine and torso. What I don't want is to allow the rib cage to pop. From here, I'm going to pull down and bring my elbows in and squeeze tight. Again, I'm looking to squeeze from the elbows and not pull too much from the hands. The hands are just meat hooks. extend and release without letting the shoulders lift, and then return. Bang. Exercise 1, back isolation. Now the first exercise for hamstrings, and this is going to be our more compound style movement, and we are looking at dumbbell work here for straight leg deadlifts. Now you can do these on a straight bar as well, but I find if you're new to these, the dumbbells are the best way to start learning. We're going to look to drive through our hips and heels here and avoid moving from the upper part of our body. So lifting up the dumbbells, you're going to bring them out to the front. You're going to engage your scapula, squeeze your glutes, but then you're going to move from the hips. We're going to kick our hips back, and as a result, the weights drag down the front of the leg really close, keeping a neutral spine, not allowing it to arch or the rib cage to pop. Ribs down, neutral spine. Get to a point where your stretch on the hamstrings is loaded with the weight, then drive through the hips first and the heels. Don't move here from the top of the back. We drive through, we hump the dumbbells, only way of doing it, and then squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings, and then release from the hips, drag it down the legs, load and fire. Bang! What we're looking to avoid is lifting from here. We need to have this movement from the glutes, the hips, and the heels.
I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. Many before me have come. After me there will be none. I am the one.
So now we're on to exercise 2 for the triceps and exercise 2 for hamstrings. So back is finished and done. It's going to seem short and sharp, but trust me, you're going to be hitting that again in a couple of days. So it is going to feel sore by the end of the week. But we look at triceps first exercise on this. We've done compound, so we did that V-bar. Now we're going to look to do single arms. So we're looking at unilateral work to help correct any imbalances and make each arm work on its own independence. That's a long way of saying making them work individually. So variation, we're going to use an underhand grip. We're going to be doing it across body. So we want to keep that shoulder back, chest high, rib cage down, glutes engaged. What we're going to look to do is pull from high, across the body, down to finish at an angle. So I'm not pulling across and out. So from nipple to hip, nipple, hip, nipple, hip, nip to hip, the nip to hip, nip to hip, then hamstrings. Next up, we've got the lovely classic for hamstrings, which is the seated hamstring curl that most people fuck up. Why? Because number one, look how far forward this seat is. My knee is out of alignment to the joint. So we need this seat back. Why do we need this seat back? Because we need our hips back. What you'll see a lot of people on this do is as they go to pull, their hips slide forward and they pull through, sliding their hips. Now if I bring my hips back, look where my feet have moved to. They've gone nowhere. So that hip movement, we call that compensation, and we do not want that. These are all things we need to be looking at and correcting. So, first things first, make sure the pad's set right. Make sure there's not been a bitch on it before you who's done it on number 2. Get it up to number 1. Get it on that full stretch. Don't be a bitch. This feels like it's tight, but I bet you if I shove all my body weight down it, I can get that onto another one. It should be almost painful once you're pinned in here, because we don't want to allow these knees to move up at all, because that's what lets the hips slide forward. From here, I'm going to grab the front, not here and push. Why? Because now I'm stretching my hamstrings before I even start. Slight lean forward, ribs down, shoulders back, pull through my heels, squeeze, think about it being a bicep. And then what I'm not going to do is let my knees lift on the way up. So on the way up, I keep my knees down and create that extension from the feet up to the top of the leg. There we go. Now we're working. This is how you do a seated hamstring curl. And this is how you don't be a beta bitch. What are you going to look like when I'm trying to get out? Hint, press, pull, release. 8 to 12 reps on both of those. Kick it.
What'd you say?
What was that? What was this?
Hey girlfriend.
Don't be a beta bitch.
Turn the lights on, I'ma go live. 0 to 1,000 in no time. Walking on the wild side like it's no line. You should've never told me I won't die. The weight of the world on my shoulders, the fate of a culture, the faith and devotion. I'm the one that was made for this moment, a savior, the chosen, the wave is approaching.
So there you go, you've done 6 rounds of boxing, you've done 30 sets of training covering 3 body parts. You've worked your cardiovascular system, you've worked the muscles, and you've worked functionality. This is day 1. We will repeat these body groups again in 2 or 3 days time, but next up you'll have day 2, which will cover chest, biceps and quads. If you like this video, make sure to hit me up in the comment section with any questions you might have. Hit that like button, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get all notifications, because as we all know, YouTube does not tell anybody about anything anymore other than maybe monkeys throwing poo at a camel. I suppose I would watch that. So until the next video, I'll catch you. I've been Lex. A boom baby.
Lately I've been doing shit different, cooking like a chef, I've been all up in the kitchen. Had to make a move, had to make a little distance. Lot of people tripping, they could never see the vision. Fuck that, tell them bounce.